Hi, it's Iftach. The new version of Sting is an expressive, improvisational acid line performance system. It is a Max for Live device and it runs on Ableton Live or Push 3 standalone. It features a new generation algorithm and can generate anything from random to acid patterns. It includes advanced editing, generative sequencing, and modulation features. When paired with Ableton Push 2 or 3, it becomes a hands-on live performance system. All of Sting's parameters are logically laid out and fully controllable via tabbing, making it accessible to blind, visually impaired, and sighted users. The new version of Sting is available as either free or paid download. Both versions are identical. It's simply a way to ensure that everyone can access it, regardless of their ability to support my work. Sting was born on a low-key afternoon during a residency in Reykjavik in 2013. At first, it started as a joke, asking myself if I could build something that would generate acid, but then turned out to a pretty useful thing. As of 2025, the original version of Sting is the most downloaded Max for Live device on maxforlive.com. Since then, Sting has gone through several iterations, some private and some public, including hardware versions. A certain unreleased version I used during the final years of Skinnerbox on stage had a full monom integration, which made Sting truly playable. Among other things, the new version brings this playability to Ableton Push with a unique Takeover mode, which I'll cover later on in this video. Every time the smiley face is clicked, Sting generates 16 note patterns alongside 16 velocity, gate, and octave patterns. Each pattern is 16 steps long, and each set of patterns is musically related within itself. Think of it as a 3D pattern generator with simplified controls. One dial for note selection and another for dynamic expression across multiple layers. In total, this gives 256 unique pattern combinations. The new version of Sting introduces a new sequence generation algorithm called V2. Compared to the algorithm in earlier versions of Sting, V2 produces more musical patterns, especially at the lower type values. If you prefer the classic Sting behavior, simply switch the drop-down menu back to V1. The type dial morphs the notes of the sequence from rather random to acid type sequences. The density dial controls how busy the sequence is. The steps parameter defines the length of the pattern, and offset will move the starting position of the sequence. Sting generates 3 levels of velocity: off, low, and high. The accent parameter scales these values. When set to 0, all active notes play at the same volume, and when set to 100, the difference between low and high velocity notes is at its maximum. Similarly, Sting generates 3 note length values, which can be scaled using the gate parameter. The root parameter defines the root note of the sequence. It can also be changed in real time and controlled via incoming MIDI notes by toggling the MIDI button. This is a really nice and musical way to play Sting. Unlike root, which only changes the root note, transpose will pitch the entire sequence. The division parameter sets the rate of the sequencer, and clock lets you choose between continuous mode and gate mode. In gate mode, the pattern only plays when notes are held, which is another nice and musical way to control Sting. The direction parameter sets how the sequence plays, either forward, backward, or in a pendulum motion. Swing will add swing to the sequence, and clip will create a MIDI clip of the currently playing sequence. Clicking on the triangle reveals Sting's editor. Each playing sequence can be edited by selecting Note, Accent, Gate, or Octave and using the interface. Sting features an expression matrix that lets you route aftertouch, slide, and velocity to various parameters. It pairs beautifully with expressive controllers like Push, allowing for dynamic ways to play the sequences. In this example, I'm using aftertouch to control the density of the sequence. The Live section adds unpredictability and automation to certain parameters. Turning up the type amount introduces variations around the current type value, with the rate control setting how fast these changes occur. The same applies to density. Additionally, you can also automate the sequence generation itself. The jitter parameter introduces subtle timing fluctuations. For example, instead of counting steps 1 to 16 in a straight line, Sting might skip a step, repeat one, or even jump backwards. Sting features a unique Ableton Push Takeover mode, transforming Push into a performative acid generator. It's compatible with Push 2, Push 3, and Push 3 standalone. To enter Takeover mode, simply turn on the Push Takeover dial on the main bank. The upper yellow 16 pads controls the sequence type, the 16 green pads below control the density, the 16 pink pads control the sequence length, and the lower two rows form a chromatic keyboard that controls the root parameter. To generate a new sequence, click the New button. To convert a sequence into a MIDI clip, click Convert. You can also edit the current sequences by holding the Select button. When active, the pink pads row will turn green, and clicking on a step allows you to edit the note, accent, gate, and octave values. Pressing octave up or octave down will transpose the sequence by a semitone. Holding Shift and pressing those buttons transposes by a whole octave. Push Takeover mode also supports storing and recalling up to 8 sequences, including older parameters. To store a sequence, hold Shift and press one of the bit division buttons. To recall a stored sequence, simply press the corresponding bit division button. It is also possible to sequence the stored patterns. To do so, press and hold the Select button and then click the patterns you want to chain. The number of times you click a pattern and the order in which you click them will define the pattern chain. The pattern change parameter in the clock bank lets you choose if sequenced patterns change after their defined length or every bar.